Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to a quick video on forgotten weapons. I am actually sitting down here to do a Q&A video based on some questions I've gotten from my awesome Patreon contributors. However, I wanted to clarify something today that I said a little while back. In a previous Q&A video, someone asked, what rifle would I give to a World War I soldier who's going into the trenches? And my answer was an AR-15. And I got a lot of comments in reply asking why an AR-15 rather than an AK-47. Standard understanding is that the AK is reliable to the point of insanity, and that it would be the better option if you were going into a particularly muddy, nasty, gross place like, say, Passchendaele. Well, since that Q&A video posted, my buddy Carl and I have actually done some mud testing on both the AK and AR platforms, and confirmed what we kind of suspected, what I certainly suspected when I made this statement in the first place, that the AR-15 is in fact actually, in terms of nasty, soupy Passchendaele mud, the more reliable rifle. And the reason is actually mechanically, I think, fairly simple when you look at it. The reason is the AR-15 is a really well sealed and enclosed design. There isn't a big open slot for a charging handle. There aren't big holes elsewhere in the action. There is a very good dust cover, and even when the dust cover is open, the bolt itself really fills the ejection port and seals it pretty tightly, actually. On top of this, the direct impingement, or pseudo-direct impingement, the AR-15 bolt is actually a piston in and of itself. The way that thing vents gas is it blows it out the side of the bolt, out the ejection port. And that actually, I think, has a non-trivial effect on blowing dirt away from the ejection port, which otherwise might fall into the gun. Now, the AK has this open slot behind it. The safety covers that slot, but doesn't cover it nearly as tightly as the dust cover on an AR. There's also a much larger gap, even on the highest end AKs. There's a large gap between the receiver dust cover and the actual bolt itself. Mud can get into that gap. It causes friction on the bolt, which prevents it from cycling properly, and it can get backwards into the fire control group. And when you get maybe not soft things, water probably wouldn't do this, but mud with bits of sticks and rocks and sand and crap in it, that stuff gets into a fire control group, and that will lock up a gun and it will cease to function. So we have some video of both of these guns going through mud tests that, if you were curious why I said the AR-15 would be my choice in World War I think that'll do a pretty good job of explaining it. So there's cool high-speed footage. Those are over on the InRange TV channel, and we got links to both of them right here. You should check it out if you're curious about that, because I think you'll enjoy seeing those two and maybe an insight into the functioning of those two guns. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned. In a few days, we will have a probably excruciatingly long Q&A video coming up with a bunch of questions from my cool Patreon contributors.